Hi, this is Mrs. Gochin, the Media Specialist at William Annan Middle School. In this video, we are going to evaluate a website about mythology that you will use to gather information about your Greek god. If you recall from the other videos you've watched, we must evaluate a web page before we take any notes from it and use it in our research, so we can convince ourselves we can trust it. Before we do that, please follow the directions at the top of the tan sheet that was handed out to you earlier this week. Those directions will get you back to the 6th grade English Greek Gods research guide page that I've created for you. Please pause the video while you do that to get back to this web page. Now that you are on the 6th grade English Greek Gods web page, I want you to notice right below the title that there are some tabs. One of the tabs says Websites. Please click that tab to go to another page on this guide page about websites. You'll see an image that should look familiar to you that talks about the relationship between websites and individual web pages. In this video, we'll be evaluating a single web page of information about our Greek gods. In this box are a couple of links to some mythology websites with information on the gods. We're going to use the first link, ancientgreece.com/mythology, and use that website for our evaluation practice. So please click that link now, and that will open up this web page. You'll see that there's actually a family tree chart here that shows the relationship between all the Greek gods. You can see right here some of the gods you're researching, Zeus and Hera and Hades, Poseidon, Demeter, and how they are all related as children of Cronus and Rhea. And then Athena is down here as the child of Zeus and Hera. So that image right there could be useful in your research. But each of these names is a link to information about that Greek god. So if I click on Athena, it takes me down the page to a paragraph with information about Athena. And if I browse through it a little bit, I see that there's some new information I didn't find in my database article. So this will be a useful web page for me. But before I can take notes, I must evaluate this web page. So let's scroll back to the top of the page. And now let's turn to the green sheet in your research packet, the back side of that green sheet, which is titled Evaluating My Web Page Source. Please stop the video until everyone is on this green sheet. Okay, so this green sheet, which you saw explained in another video, is what we use to evaluate a web page. We answer these 5 questions about our web page, and if we can answer yes about all of them, then we feel pretty confident that we can trust this web page. So let's do this for our mythology website. The first questions have to do with who created it, and what is their background? Why should we trust them? Why are they an expert? So first we have to find an author or organization. Now I have some tips for you in finding this information on a web page. So to find the author, first of all we're looking for a real person's name, like John Smith. It's usually found at the top or bottom of the text on the web page, the information. Many web pages do not have an author, so if there is no author, write the word none on the author line to tell yourself that you looked and there was no author. If, however, you don't find an author, then you must find an organization name. So that's the name of a company, vendor, organization responsible for the web page and the information on it. The organization name is usually found at the bottom of the web page, somewhere near the publication date. So we're going to go to our web page and look for either a real person's name at the top or bottom of the text or an organization name at the bottom of the page. Well, if I scroll a little, here's where the text starts. I don't see an author's name. If I scroll all the way down to where the text ends, I still do not see an author's name. So this web page has no real person author, but it does have an organization name. Remember, we look at the very bottom of the page near the copyright date, and there we find University Press Incorporated. That's our organization name. So on the line, for 1A, we write University Press Incorporated. Okay. Now we want to find out about them, so we look for the About tab on this web page, and then we will click it. It might be a tab, it might be a link, but we want to click it to find out about our organization. And here it is right here. Usually you'll find it at the bottom of the page in the menu or at the top of the page in a menu. So let's click this link, About Us, and we see that there's some information about the organization University Press Incorporated. We're looking for information that makes us feel comfortable with this organization. Well, let's see. The first thing it says, they're dedicated to providing an online source of information on the ancient Greek world. So their focus is on ancient Greece. I also see that they aim to build a portal for people interested or for students and teachers. So it's a resource for students and teachers. There's not a lot else said about University Press, but that might be because I happen to know that University Press Incorporated is a very well-known publishing company. If you didn't see information like that here, you could Google their name, University Press Incorporated, and find out more about them. But for right now, we'll go back to our sheet, and under 1B, what is their purpose or mission, in this case because it's an organization, we're going to write what we learned, which was that they are an online source for information about ancient Greece. Okay. They're a resource for students and a well-known publishing company. Okay, so that would be our answer for B. Again, pause the video if you need some time to write that down. But it is important to find that information. Okay, so now 1C, do you think they are an authority on your topic? And I would have to say yes, based on their publishing company status, and they're an online source for information about ancient Greece and a resource for students. I think we can say yes, they are an authority. I will underline yes, but you can certainly circle it. Okay, those are probably the hardest questions to answer. The next set of questions have to do with when. When was this web page created or updated? And that's our first question. So when was this web page created or last updated? My tips for you will tell you where to look for that. So publication date, the copyright date or last updated date of the web page. It's usually at the bottom of the web page, and we did see that a minute ago. You can look for the word copyright or a C in a circle or last updated. Sometimes it will say that. So if we go to our web page, and now we have to hit the back arrow to get back to our page with the information, and we scroll all the way down, and you will see right here, copyright, C in a circle. Now we have a range 2003 to 2012. What that means is the web page was created in 2003 and it has been updated as recently as 2012. So that's our last updated date. So we go back to our sheet, and where it says when was this web page created or last updated, we write 2012. Whoops, too many twos. 2012. And our next question then says, is this date current enough for your research topic? And 2012 is fine for research on mythology because that is a historical topic, so not much has changed. So we can say yes. And now we move on to question 3. What? The accuracy of the information. So we have to ask ourselves some questions about the actual information. This will require us to browse the information to determine, is the information factual? Is it giving us facts? Is the information well organized with few or no grammatical errors? That means they put some time and effort into it. And does the author write objectively? Now in our case, we don't have an issue topic, so we're just looking for the author to write clearly, well organized, and factual. So let's look at some of our information. If we look at one of our Greek gods, let's go to Athena, and we see that this information is factual. Most important goddess, goddess of wisdom, wore the arts, sprang full grown and armored from the forehead of the god Zeus. So these are all factual statements about Athena, the Greek goddess. So we can feel comfortable that the information was factual. So circle that one. Also, the information is well organized. We have paragraphs with few or no grammatical errors. So we can say yes. And does the author write objectively? Yes. In this case, it was objective. There was no issue that might have some biased information. And now we move to question 4. Now for this question, we want to determine what website our web page is part of, and is that a legitimate, reliable website? That's what we're trying to figure out. So first of all, let's write down the name of our web page. So the name of our web page is always at the very top of the page. It's usually a big heading, so right here, mythology. That's the name of our web page. So for 4A, we're going to write mythology as the name of our web page. Now, to find 4B, the website name, we need to go to the home page. The home page of a website tells you the name of the website. Usually at the top, somewhere at the top, usually on the left, but in this case it's in the center, there should be a link that takes you to the home page. So this Ancient Greece is a link, and that takes us to the home page of the Ancient Greece website. And if we look, it does look like a legitimate website. It's certainly all about Ancient Greece. It has different topics we can click on in addition to our mythology topic. If we scroll down, we'll see that it has links to more specific topics about Ancient Greece. It's still done by the University Press Incorporated, so we know that it's the same organization. So we can conclude that this is a reliable website. We need to get its name. So the name of this website is Ancient Greece. So on our evaluation sheet, our green sheet for question 4B, we will write Ancient Greece. OK.